Hello, my name is David Paul MAVIA. Welcome again to another session where I'm going to talk about three little things. And today I want to talk about Joseph. I have a book I wrote some 3 years ago called Traveler and the Bandit. Traveler and the Bandit. And in one of the chapters I talk about Joseph. And I'm talking about Joseph's journey from the time he is sold into slavery and to the point where he becomes Pharaoh's advisor. Now, three little things about Joseph. The first little thing about Joseph is when Joseph was in prison, he got to meet two people. He got to meet the cupbearer of Pharaoh and the baker. Now, from the time he was sold into Egypt to the point where he meets these two people, Joseph is always been known as the dreamer, one who dreams. That is Joseph's skill, that is Joseph's gift, that is Joseph's endowment, the dreamer. But God makes sure that Joseph meets people who also are dreamers, but do not know the meaning of their dreams. Challenge number one, most of us are scared of shifting skills. Most of us are scared of shifting skills. In the book, I say Joseph had the skill of dreaming, but Joseph was placed in a position where he had to learn how to interpret dreams. Dreaming and interpretation of dreams. So I call them what? Cousin gifts. The main gift was dreaming. The cousin gift was what? Interpretation of gifts. Most of us are stuck because we are scared of what? Allocating or finding out what is the cousin gift of the main gift that has brought me this far. Some of us is just what I normally call skill shifting. Skill shifting. There's a gift or a skill that has brought you this far. There's one that is closely relatable to that main skill that most likely will make you stand before Pharaoh. Don't be scared to examine another skill that is close to what you have that can make you move before Pharaoh. Skill shifting is important. Joseph was a dreamer. He became a dream interpreter. Dreamer, dream interpreter. That is number one. Number two, cupbearer and baker. Those are people who Joseph would never have met if he had never gone into prison. We should learn how to design the relationships or the ecosystems that God places around us. If Joseph would not have designed or would not have been in a company of other dreamers, he would not have been in a position where they, the two, baker and cupbearer, would have made a demand upon Joseph to exhibit a gift he already had within him. Don't underestimate the relationships God puts around you. An ecosystem of relationship is entered into by discernment. Most of us are not moving before Pharaoh because we have undermined, ignored, or are unconcerned about the relationships God has brought before us. So, number one, skill shifting from dreamer to dream interpreter. Number two, discernment of relationships around us. And the last one, number three, when Joseph stood finally before Pharaoh, learn how to communicate in your interpretation of what? The dreams of Pharaoh. Learn how to communicate in a language where captains of industry can understand. Most of us, since we come from a spiritual background, we think when we are put before our bosses, we have to speak biblical or Christianese. Joseph spoke in a language which Pharaoh could understand. Most of us don't understand the vocabularies of our industries. We need to study and understand this is how we communicate concepts or ideas in our industries. Don't be spooky. Don't be spooky. Joseph communicated an economic blueprint to Pharaoh in a language Pharaoh would understand. But in that communication, because of his articulate expression of that blueprint, Pharaoh said, "You be the man who will run it through." So your expertise to be Pharaoh's chief advisor is being able to interpret Pharaoh's dream and communicate it to him in a manner or a language which he can understand. So three little things about Joseph. Learn how to skill shift. Ask the Holy Spirit to expose you to a gift that has been lying dormant, number one. Number two, be discerning about the relationships God has put around you. And number three, interpret dreams of Pharaoh in a language which Pharaoh can understand. Until next time, when we get back to Three Little Things, be blessed.